Okay, tonight I want to do kind of a real quick thoughts on 3 books, 2 of which are related and the other one I feel is related. So just dive right in. I've shown you this book before. This book is a season by season things you can do to get better in touch with nature and really better in touch with yourself by doing so. Has all kinds of really cool stuff in there. And the reason I'm bringing this book up again is because I just bought the companion book, the journal. Okay, now inside this journal, she says you can use it by itself if you want to, but I wanted to give a look-see. Okay, in each season there is what the season is. Okay, prompts for meditating, and then the sacred actions. Okay, and then the journaling strategy for that season, followed by a whole bunch of blank pages for you to write down the things that you did. So these 2 books together are really, really good for 1, getting in touch with nature, and 2, logging what your experiences are. So if you do an activity and that doesn't work very well for you, put it in the journal and keep track of what works and what doesn't, what feels really good, what feels only okay, right? So cool stuff there. The other book, sorry, cat decided my sleeve needs to be played with, is this one here. Okay, not by the same author, but I thought in talking about sacred actions and things you can do, having the ceremonies, the prayers and songs that can go along with each of these seasons that are common or accepted by the ancient order of Druids in America, right, could actually help if you're trying to do sacred actions to get back in touch. Now, I read through some of them. Am I going to use them all? Probably not. For me, this book is probably more of a inspiration deal rather than a reference book, but there's a lot of really cool and historic things in here as well. So even if you're not interested in doing these practices, there's some history in here too. Now, there is one thing that I know for sure I will not be using from the journal, and I'm sorry, I forgot to pre-mark the page, is this. Well, very cool, and it's not going to focus, is it? No, it's not. Okay. Well, on page 8, she has a very beautiful, much better than I can draw, depiction of the sacred action wheel of the year. And for me, my wheel is opposite. Okay. When I began my journey, really, it became really serious in 2020. When I began that journey, I was meditating on the runes and I was getting in touch with my inner druid and asking all kinds of questions, right? So in this book here, and I just closed it, it has winter solstice in the south and summer solstice in the north. For my own stuff, from my own meditations, what I was told to use, winter is in the north. Because in the runic wheel, north is potential. And in the winter, it's dormant. Correct? That's when you're telling your potential, figuring out what you want your potential to be, what you want it to do. Okay? And then northeast is conceptualizing that potential. And then east is birth. So that would mean, that would be how everything falls through. Spring is when everything gets birthed, right? Well, along those lines there. So that's why mine is different. In correlation with that, I wanted to show my rune cloth. Okay. North. I don't know how well that's able to be picked up by the camera. Right, this is what I use to cast my runes on. Right. So the seasons correlate also with the runes that are on these cloths, or on this cloth. Sorry, I did not realize that the microphone on this is that sensitive. But I actually went back and watched one of my videos, and I could actually hear my cat scratching. So I'm sure you're picking that up right now with him sitting right here on the table. Yeah, he's scratching right now. There was something else I want to say about sacred actions. I know I discussed it before, but for me, even doing these videos is sacred action, because this is part of my path. Am I supposed to do this forever? Just for a couple of months? I don't know. But this is part of my path. So doing these videos is sacred action, right? You may be doing sacred action and not even know that you're doing it. If it's making you feel good, keep doing it and consider it a sacred action. Okay? And I know that can go into a profane area. Not meant to, but I mean, not necessarily physically good, but good in your soul. Like it feels like you're meant to do something, right? So I strongly suggest getting these 3 books if you're interested in doing sacred actions, especially if you're feeling lost and you don't know what your path is supposed to be. The sacred actions books, the journal and the book itself, do those different activities that you list in there and see what feels good. See what strikes you in the heart center here. Maybe that'll help you figure out what your path is supposed to be. Never know, but it's worth a try. All right? I'm not going to do individual videos on these 3 books. I just wanted to throw out my commentary on how good they are. For me, all 3 of them are worth the purchase, even if I'm only using one as a reference, inspiration, whatever. Anything that inspires is worth encountering. Okay? Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.